Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Barbershop Group podcast. I'm Charles, your host for today's show. I hope that you guys have been enjoying some of the other content that we've been publishing on the podcast. A lot of times we try to find inspirational videos for you all. You can check those out on tbgmen.com if you are into watching the videos, or you can listen on the podcast. Again, make sure that you sign up for our updates and alerts on tbgmen.com because you won't see everything on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Okay. And while you are on your app or on the website, you can hit the support button to contribute today to the Barbershop Group podcast. Okay. It's very, very easy to do. It's not going to break the bank, but we appreciate your contribution. It helps us continue the show, expand the show, get more guests on the show. And be able to, send some things down the pipeline to you guys that we know you'll appreciate. So that's the call out for today. I've got Dr. Stephan Poulter, the author of The Shame Factor, Heal Your Deepest Fears and Set Yourself Free, on with me today. He is back from Costa Rica. Doc, how are you?
Very well, Charles. It's good to be back here in the USA.
Yeah, I'm glad you found your way back. I was a little jealous, man. You know what I'm saying?
Charles, I did get a touch of food poisoning, so I did.
Ooh, no
bueno.
I don't want any part of it. You can keep that. Okay, I feel for you, but I don't want it.
Yeah, Charles, talk about humility. You go back to the baseline of life.
Yo, isn't it something about the way food poisoning just like sets everything at zero for everybody?
Everybody. I mean, you don't want to die. Okay.
Right.
Okay,
right.
Good. I don't want to die.
But it evens out the playing field really quick.
It does. It's very humbling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes. You get food poisoning, you're back on the ground, brother. Yeah.
Yeah, real quick. Whatever you thought you had going on, you out there popping your collar, man, making it rain, whatever was happening. Blinging don't matter. You get food poisoning, you sit your ass down.
Time out, man. That's the end of the game, man.
Right. So
you're
listen
talking
up, Doc. We gotta
get on it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We got a lot of stuff to cover today, guys. We're going to be using our minds to delve into the sports world. There's a lot happening in the sporting world. There has been a lot happening in the sporting world. One of the things that I wanted to just briefly mention before we get to our main topics, I just want to briefly mention something, Doc. Doc, I'm a huge soccer fan, okay, and a European football fan. Yes, I am. And obviously, they had the Euro Cup, and some things happened over there.
Yeah,
where the UK lost to Italy, and things went as I guess we expected them to go. Where a lot of UK fans decided to show how racist they really are. Okay.
They didn't let us down. They didn't let us down.
Hey, it didn't let us down. It happens during the World Cup. It happens during the Olympics. It happens during the Euro Cup. Okay. If there happens to be a non-white person on the field who doesn't help this European soccer team win, okay, they lose their minds. You will see people call monkeys, apes. They'll be throwing bananas at folks. They'll call them the N-word. And I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. And the reason why I want to point this out, Doc, is because, I'm a fan of European types of things. There's some days in my mind where I just teleport myself to whatever country in Europe I want to be in that day, right? But here's the thing. A lot of people in Europe like to swear up and down that their racism is better than America's racism.
Charles, that's like saying my debt is better than your debt. No, it's not.
Man, come on. I hear it all the time. Europeans will be like, oh, things are different. And I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on a minute. What do you mean by that? Because I'm not seeing it. And neither are those black footballers over there seeing it either. But kudos to everybody who is showing love and support to them. Man, I mean, because it's 2021. And come on, Europe. You got to be better. You guys are accepting of all kinds of things over there in Europe, but you can't accept black men on the pitch. Like, really? Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Charles, you don't hear people in America say our racism is better than yours. We know we've got a problem.
Americans knows, yes. At least I
one
think
thing
at
we
this
agree on.
point we know.
Yep.
America knows it's got a racism problem. Europe tries to make itself look a little better, and the UK particularly because they drink tea. So so they're fancier with their racism, I suppose. But you know what, guys? Again, it is not a laughing matter. It is something that is real. It's not just happening in the United States. It's happening all around the world, and it has to be addressed. So, Doc. Man,
let's jump in, Charles. Yes,
you are a sports fan. And this week in the news, and it's all fresh. It's very fresh. We got some news about really, really important, popular, talented, intelligent football player by the name of Richard Sherman. As you guys know,
yes. He's a local out here in California.
He's a local in California.
He's probably one of the top 10 most popular guys, Charles.
Yeah.
In the NFL. Or,
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely one of the more intelligent guys. He's like a Stanford.
Went to Stanford, graduated, played for Harbaugh. I mean, he's paid his dues.
Family man, all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Comes from a solid family out here in Inglewood, California. His dad worked for the city as a trash collector, if you will.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, we're talking solid roots, solid foundation.
Yeah. And that's something. And so, as you guys know, this week, unfortunately, Richard Sherman had an altercation with the police after what sounds like maybe trying to go to his in-laws' house and break in, and either he was threatening to do bodily harm to them or he was threatening to do bodily harm to himself. At least that's what his wife reported when she made the 911 call. That's actually what's on tape, and I got a chance to hear that. She made a statement that he was saying something about self-harm. Okay, and then thereafter left their house and went to his in-laws' house, where I believe her father-in-law felt unsafe, and felt unsafe. I think he used some pepper spray or something like that as Richard was trying to get through the door. And eventually he armed himself, I think, as well, but the police were able to intervene. And kudos to the police, Doc.
Yeah, thank you. Charles, let's give the guys some love, man. What a terrible situation.
Kudos to the police, because, in this day and age,
it could have
gone anyway. And we have so many police officers who are struggling to do the best job they can among dealing with police officers who are doing the worst job that they can, right? And virtually none of the police officers are trained in dealing with mental health issues and episodes, right?
Yes.
And I can tell you, as I get out there and try to market more of my mental health first aid services to police departments, there's so much red tape that these police departments have to go through in order to get me in to do the first aid stuff with these guys. So it's very difficult. And then police departments who do have a mental health specialist on board, a therapist or a psychologist or someone, they only have one, and the city is so big that psychologist can't be in all places at all times, right? So again, kudos to the police officers for handling the situation the way that they did. If you all don't know, they did not tase him because they were worried that tasing him would interact with something else. I think it was like the understanding that he may have been on drugs and something else that was going to be counterproductive. And so they chose not to tase him. Obviously, they chose not to use any lethal force. They used the K9. And some people consider a K9 to be lethal. It could be, but a lot less. Yeah.
Something, I hate to say it, Charles, dogs work.
Dogs work. Yeah. Dogs work. Yeah.
There's a universal language. You'll listen to a dog.
Yeah, I hear you.
Or they'll bite your ankles. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're bites your ankle. They bite your ankle. Yes.
And Charles has nothing to do with race, creed, or color. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
Dogs work. You know what, Charles? They de-escalated a near fatal outcome.
That's right. Yeah. A lot of people could have got hurt in that.
A lot of people. And misunderstandings. And Charles, what you're hitting on is male mental health Call it depression, anxiety, or shame.
Yeah.
But Charles, when it catches you from behind, this is what happens.
Yeah. I thought that it was interesting. When I first read the report, I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, is this another NFL football who is beating his wife, or got
lost his mind?
Yeah. And I'm glad that his wife decided to say a little more than she did the first time. And I get it. It takes some time. This stuff is new for everybody. And it's definitely jarring to your spouse, right, who sees you experience an episode like this. But, they have since said, hey, that Sherman has been dealing with depression at least since February, and that he had a protection order against himself, right? They had one, but it was sealed. So the press and everybody, they didn't have access to that.
Nobody.
And the reason why I'm applauding, or one of the reasons why I'm applauding his wife, is over her decision to speak up about what he was actually dealing with, so that he didn't get dragged by the media.
Charles, let me tell you, my wife had the same response you did. Oh no, not Richard, because he's been outspoken. Had a great relationship with the Seahawks, Pete Carroll, Stanford, college football. Richard's been a stand-up guy. Yeah. He is a stand-up guy.
And that's what the judge said. When the judge released him without bail,
unheard of.
One of the things he said was, hey, we all know this guy. He does so much for everybody in the area. Like he's helped so many people. He's outspoken about getting things done here. And he puts his money where his mouth is. Okay. And so we're not worried about that. That's not what we're worried about. Okay. And so my hope, Doc, is that his family, the NFL, the Niners, right? That Pete Carroll, right? All of these individuals step up and show love and support to Richard as he battles this thing. And the other thing I thought about, Doc, was this: when it came out that he had been dealing with this since February. You want to know what I thought about?
Tell me.
CTE.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Traumatic brain injury.
Yeah.
Charles. Charles, for men, right here, I don't want to sound like, here we go. The frontal lobe. Charles, that breeds depression.
Yeah.
And that's mental illness.
Yeah.
And that's not because he's not a great guy. That's brain injury.
That's right. And I think that, a few years ago or so, we were worried about, they kind of treated CTE the way they were treating the coronavirus for a minute. Like, is it real? You know what I'm saying? Is this thing real?
Right.
And I think at this point, the question isn't, is it real? But when is it going to show up in you?
When's it going to hit?
When is it going to hit? Because let's face it, Doc, most of these NFL players, they've been playing football since they were tykes.
Yeah. And Charles, what was that movie with Will Smith where he's the doctor?
Yes. Right. I remember the movie. I forgot the name of it.
Was it Concussion?
I think it was.
I saw that movie, and Charles, you know why it didn't get a lot of love. It was so well done.
Yeah. No, of course, they didn't anticipate that was going to get a lot of love, Doc. I mean, why?
But it was medically based.
Yeah.
And Charles, he took an 8-year-old taking headshots.
Right.
Okay. Now, Richard's in his 30s. So he's been doing that for 20, 25 years.
Yeah. Right.
And look at Junior Seau, who committed suicide, who had no history of depression.
Right. Yes. There have been several. There are too many to name at this point.
Yeah,
Junior Seau is just one that we know guys can't remember, but there are too many.
Off the top. Oh yeah. And so what about the guys? What about the kickers? Or
I tell you what, I'll tell you the kickers. But I'll go back. Let's talk about Frank Gifford. Frank Gifford had CTE.
Oh yeah, and his wife, Kathy Gifford, had to get him off the air.
Okay, Frank. Yeah, a lot of people don't know Frank Gifford has CTE, man. You see? So, and they didn't release that until after, he passed away, and they did some more studies and things. And they were like, yep, sure enough. You see? So if guys were, Frank Gifford was 80 something years old. If guys who played during his time had it, what do you think is going on? So, and I'm not saying to you listeners and viewers out there, yeah, we know matter of factly what's going on with Richard Sherman, because we don't. But this is an opportunity. This is a conversation, obviously, that folks are going to have, man, because you gotta wonder, like, are these football players really safe? We all love the game. But do we love what comes with the game? Right?
Charles, you have your finger on the pulse. This is a sleeping giant in the living room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, Charles, with concussions, I'm talking about just normal day-to-day life.
Yeah.
As psychologists, the depression, the suicide, the distortion, the disorientation in life.
Yeah.
I mean, mental health at its core doesn't know how to deal with those kind of brain injuries.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. So, guys, man, just say a prayer for Richard Sherman and his family.
Yes.
And for you all, again, do not think that you have to be unwell to see a therapist.
Yes.
You can see a therapist. You can see a psychologist, for preventive measures. Get a checkup. You know what I'm saying? Get a checkup, because sometimes things sneak up on us.
Yeah.
Right, Doc?
Charles, Jonathan Gutman, the couples guru, says couples with stress say the average wait time is 6 years before they get therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for individual men, Charles, I think some men instead get cancer or prostate cancer.
Yeah.
Or the body breaks down, then they go. Because Charles, it's going to go somewhere.
Yeah, it's going to go somewhere.
Somewhere.
So, I mean, yeah. A lot of us guys, we could have something going on, and just shove it aside. It seems like it's a small deal, and then before you know it, boom, it hits us.
Hits you,
guys. You are. Yeah, go ahead, Doc. Go ahead.
No, Charles, this thing with Richard, we're relieved, but we're saddened.
Right.
Is that fair?
I'm still, I'm relieved. I'm sad. I'm still on pins and needles, Doc, because I'm like, are they doing everything in their power to make sure that he continues to get the help that he needs? Right. Because he's in the midst of something, and he needs continued care and increase. Right. It's just what it is. So the same way that we are throwing out support and love to, people like Naomi Osaka, right? Richard Sherman, he deserves it as well. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these guys, because they may be great in outward physical body, does not mean that they are great in the mind. Okay. So yeah.
Right on, Charles. Right on. Absolutely.
So listen, guys, we're going to continue right after break. So hey guys, we are back. The Barbershop Group Podcast. I'm here with Dr. Stephan Poulter, the author of The Shame Factor. Heal Your Deepest Fears and Set Yourself Free. You can purchase that book on our website at tbgmen.com/merchandise. It is right there. You can purchase it. You need to get your hands on this book. Okay. It'll deal with a lot of the shame that you experience in your life, or maybe you don't even know that it's called shame as of right now. But, if you've ever felt like you weren't good enough, if you've ever felt like you wanted to apply for that job, but you just knew you weren't going to have an opportunity to get that job. Nobody was going to call you for that interview. If you had that thought, you need to get this book. If you saw that hot chick and was like, you know what? Man, I really want to get her number, but nah, she'll never go for a guy like me. If you ever had that thought, you need to get this book, okay? If you've ever felt like you couldn't trust your significant other, or like maybe you had to go through her phone or something like that, or you got to thinking you're seeing somebody else. If you've ever had any of those thoughts, you need to get the Shame Factor book. Go to tbgmen.com/merchandise, order the book, okay? So
on. Thank you, Charles.
Let's talk, man.
Well, let's get into it. Here we go, Charles. Oh boy. Yeah. Now
right?
we're throwing fastballs.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw a fastball all right.
This is different. This is a different discussion than Richard. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's equally.
I'm gonna throw a fastball.
Oh, you're throwing. Yeah, and I'm gonna get out of the way.
Oh yeah, no, right. It's coming right at you, buddy.
Yeah. I need to catch it and receive it. Yep.
Trevor
Bauer.
Trevor, I like to choke women. Bauer. Trevor, I like to choke women. Bauer. Okay. Forget about I like to choke women. I like to punch women in the face while I'm having sex with them. Bauer. Yeah.
Charles.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. It has the City of Angels, which would be Los Angeles, holding its breath.
Yeah.
The MLB.
I'm sure.
Every baseball fan's like saying, tell me it ain't so. We'll find out.
Please.
What we're going to find out, what you and I are discussing today is discussing it without making a judgment, because we're not the judge. We're not the investigators.
Right. So, I hope to get there. I'm going to try not to judge. I'll try to not judge, but I got to say this, Doc.
But you're concerned. You're concerned.
I'm concerned.
That's not judging.
I'm concerned. I'm concerned about the young lady. I'm concerned about Trevor. And here is why. I've had an opportunity to see some of these messages that went back and forth. Okay. The couple that they released. I have had an opportunity to hear conversations, right, that took place based on the attorneys. Okay. And it's concerning to me, Doc, because see, the general public is looking at this. And I know a lot of the general public is like, oh, you slimy creep, you. Okay. Because that's where we are. We're in a day and age where a man should not be putting his hands on a woman.
You say society. How about women are looking like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
We're talking mainstream mamas are like, what in the hell is this?
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'm going to open it up. Okay? Guys, as you all know, you have heard me mention this on several podcasts before. And I know that I'm going to make half of the mental health community mad when I say this because they don't like for it to be called this. But I struggled with porn and sex addiction. Okay. And the reason I say that some people out there are going to get mad is because it's not in the DSM. So therefore it doesn't exist. It's an unhealthy relationship to porn and sex. And I'm just like, you know what? Hey, unless you've been addicted to this mess, unless you've had it just up in your entire life, okay, and almost take away everything from you, save it for me. Okay. Because alcoholism wasn't in the DSM at one point either. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, in all of that, being familiar with pornography the way that I was, I learned that there was a community. I learned that there was a community of people out there who liked the types of things that Trevor Bauer and this young lady liked. Okay. BDSM.
There is a fraternity sorority level community, Charles, that's tight knit. People have no problems with the swingers community. There's a BSM community that's much bigger. It's bigger. Yeah, man. And silent.
And hold on, not just is that community big, Doc, but there are also individuals who are not part of the community who are still developing or exploring themselves and developing their own levels of comfort regarding the things that they like. There are a lot of things that we like, Doc, that we think are not socially acceptable. So we just kind of keep it hidden until we find somebody who's willing to participate. So, Trevor Bauer, here's my issue with you, man. You cannot punch a woman in the face. Okay?
Charles?
Just can't do that. Can't do that.
It's on the same level as you can't shoot somebody with a gun for pleasure. Man,
come on. Right.
That's how I don't care. That's how women in my practice, Charles, in the last 3 weeks, that's the level of insanity, the way they hear it. Men just shake their heads. Like, dude, what is wrong with you? Charles, you don't punch a woman in the face, period.
You don't punch her in the face. You don't punch her in the face. Okay?
Period.
And so now let's think about this. Trevor Bauer and this young lady are being physically intimate. and she reports that during
his
their
house,
intimate moment, on several occasions,
yes,
that he not only did he choke her, among other things, but that he punched her in the face. And by all accounts, it sounds like she was okay with the choking, but not choking unconscious. But then after she was choked unconscious, the reports say she went back again after they had a conversation about, well, this is how far I'll allow things to go and what have you. And, I think he lost control of himself. If this is truly what did take place, and as you said, we've got to wait for it all to come out. If he's punching her in the face, then I don't think he is an individual who can participate in BDSM stuff in a healthy way. You understand what I'm saying? I don't think his boundaries are there.
Yeah. We're talking about self-control at its core level.
Right.
Yeah. In the heat of the moment.
Like you can't be enjoying the sexual activity that much that you potentially put somebody's lights out.
Yeah. Because Charles, I don't want to say this. I mean, that's not intimacy. That's not romantic intimacy. That's not what the doctor came on a few months ago talking about sexual intimacy and emotional intimacy. Charles, we're talking about something else.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just,
I'm not labeling it. It's just something else.
Yes. And here's the thing for the people who may be unfamiliar with this. There is a community. There are people who enjoy things like this. I've heard women, Doc, personally tell me, as they're climaxing, they like a little force around their neck. It's pleasurable to them. I have heard women talk about, and there are articles all over the internet where there are women and men who talk about bondage. They like a little kink. It's pleasurable for them. So this stuff is real. Here's the thing that I want to say to all of you guys out there listening, watching.
Yeah.
One of the things that I learned when I was working with adult sex offenders and juvenile sex offenders, both. One of the things that I learned, and it was really crazy for me, Doc, when I was first introduced to it, was this. I'll never forget the psychologist on the unit saying, hey, guys, if you want to participate in electrocution, okay, do you have a conversation with your partner about this? And everybody looked a little confused because there's electrocution, Doc. I mean, what? Can we do that?
I know. Seriously. Yeah.
And eventually the psychologist started talking about, well, wait, what are your boundaries and what is your partner's boundaries? And how do you have that conversation with your partner to determine if this is something that they're open to, right? And when you start talking about this, you have to give your partner the control, all right? You've got to give your partner the control in this thing, because it's something you want to do, right? And they may be interested too, but you want to be on the safe side. Okay, you want to be on the safe side. So you want to make your partner feel safe all the time. And I think that's generally something that guys need to understand.
Charles, this is not 50 Shades of Grey.
No.
Okay?
No.
I'm not trying to be a jerk off here, but this is not the same as having a silk tie tied around your eyes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, not cheeky. It's not cheeky. This is
not cheeky. This is out of control. It's dangerous and deadly.
That's right. And that's the thing right there. I think that one of the things I need men out there to understand is, guys, a lot of women are already afraid of us.
Charles, we can't talk about a blind spot in guys.
Dude,
they don't get it.
The typical woman out there is already intimidated by you. Okay.
Charles,
now, there are a lot of women who are going to tell you that they're not intimidated by you. Don't believe it. You walk into the room, you got a booming voice. Okay. Your strength is more. Okay. Your demeanor is more. You take up more space. You see what I'm saying? All right. Women will tell you.
Yes. Mm-hmm. If there's one thing the men's group does really well, is, guys, we've got to realize that we scare people. We scare other guys.
That's right. That's right. That's right. You're right about that.
We scare other guys. Come on. You and I know dudes.
Absolutely.
I don't want, hey, that guy's scary. What I think a woman feels.
Yeah. Right. So let's go with this BDSM for a minute, Doc. Let's talk about this.
Keep going there.
Because, you know, we're looking at Trevor. Trevor, you are already a professional athlete. Okay. You're already, and pitchers, you know, this pitchers are no longer small people, Doc. You know, for guys who don't watch baseball.
They're like 6'5". I mean, Charles, these guys could be point guards in the NBA or linebackers in the NFL.
Okay.
We're not talking 1950 where the guy's got a beer gut.
Yeah, no, not the same thing. Not the same thing.
And Charles, this guy won a Cy Young Award. One of my clients goes, what does that mean? There's only one a year in each league. And most of those guys end up in the Hall of Fame. That's right.
You see? So, you know, I wanted to talk about that because I think that a lot of guys don't understand our power, the perception of our power. And a lot of us don't understand sexual boundaries and what women enjoy. And I can tell you guys, I can't speak for every woman out there, but I've got a sneaking suspicion.
Go with it, Charles.
Most of the stuff, when it comes to our strength and the things that we do with women, a lot of times we underestimate our strength, our force, and what it looks like to a woman.
Charles, we underestimate the impact and the consequences.
Right. Yeah.
Charles, and that's where this with Trevor. Listen, we want everybody to get healed. I'm not trying to sound like Pollyannish here, but the woman, the participant, I don't want to say victim, participant. And Charles, as guys, he lost his mind.
He did. He did. Okay. Now, I'll call her a victim based on this, Doc.
Yeah, I'll call her. I agree. I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm not.
I'll call her a victim because she got punched in the face and she didn't want that. She didn't deserve it.
You know something? That's really, she didn't drive over there think, I want to get my lights knocked out.
She didn't drive over there to be assaulted. She drove over there to get involved in some kinky sex. Kinky sex and assault are two different things. Yes, they're two different things. Okay. But I want to say, look, I want everybody to know that it was kinky sex.
Here. Yeah. That was the motivation. Okay. That's where this thing gets weird.
Yeah.
It gets off the road. Okay. Do you know how much I've heard about Kobe back in Denver 15, 16 years ago? Charles, that's resurfaced. I go, you guys, we're talking different stories.
Yeah. Easy. Take it easy. Take it easy. I'm going to do Kobe like that, right?
No, we're not doing it.
Yeah, but this is about Trevor.
But I've heard a lot of that come to my office. I go, they're not the same. Not the same.
Right.
Two different. Yeah. When you punch a woman in the face, Charles.
Yeah.
They could have been at dinner and he punched her in the face. It's no different.
No different. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You know, so listen, guys, you know, if you all have not made yourselves familiar with this story, you may want to Google it. Just type in Trevor Bauer and you'll see everything that you ever want to see. And some of you guys are probably a little gutsier. You're probably going to jump on Pornhub or something like that, looking up stuff, man. I'm not advocating it, but I know guys who do what guys do.
I can tell you right now, everybody's distancing themselves from this because the taste test doesn't.
No. I mean, if it's a duck, it's a duck. You know what I'm saying? So look, guys, we will be right back after the break. Hey guys, we are back. Yes. We are back with Dr. Poulter, the author of The Shame Factor. Hear your deepest fears and set yourself free. You know, guys, again.
Here we go.
You all know him. Some of you hate the loving, some of you loving, some of you hating because you hate him. It's just all over the place. But obviously, we've got ESPN analyst Stephen A. Smith, who has said something that has angered the Asian American community and the Asian community at large to some degree. You know, you have a Major League Baseball star in Shohei Ohtani, who is on pace to just be unreal
Yep.
Unreal on the baseball field, man. I mean, you've got the comparisons out there to Babe Ruth and the likes.
Yep.
I mean, and the great thing about it is when it comes to Ohtani, they're not talking about Ohtani in terms of recent great baseball players. I mean, they're talking about Ohtani in heyday baseball players. Yep. You know, Hank Aaron and all of these guys. They're like, hey, look at this guy, right?
I mean, Joe DiMaggio. We're talking the legends.
Yeah. The legend.
Willie Mays. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
Say,
he's putting up those types of numbers, and he's just extremely talented. And this week, Stephen A. Smith decided to tell everybody how he felt about Ohtani being or not being able to be the face of American baseball. And you know, I had to go back because I heard the snippet. I saw the clip, the little
We all,
before I said anything, I had to go back and read the whole transcript. All right. I had to read the whole transcript because I was like, hold on, man. Like, what are we saying? I know that right now, a lot of people are very, very sensitive when it comes to culture, race, and things like this. And you and I talk, and I write a lot about people being too attached to the ego identity. Yes. Whether the individual ego identity or the collective ego identity, right? And so a lot of people feel like they have to jump up and protect themselves or jump up and protect the group, their racial gang, their religious gang, or whatever it is. It's all a gang to me. Okay. And, and so Stephen A. Smith was like, hey, man, you know, Major League Baseball, this can't be your guy. And essentially, he said, this can't be your guy because he speaks with an interpreter. Okay. And when I heard it that way, I was like, wait a minute.
What?
But he's not the first person to use an interpreter. You understand?
Okay. The Dodgers have had many players. Rue had a Korean interpreter on the mound every week or every time he pitched. Don Mattingly had no problem with an interpreter. He's the manager.
Yeah. Right.
Charles?
Right. Yeah.
Jackie Robinson's rolling over in his grave right now.
Okay. And I had a feeling you were going to say that. Yeah.
You know why? Because Charles, baseball, Ohtani is the face of baseball because it's inclusive. Yeah. That's the game.
Or we want it to be. We want it to
get it back to that.
Inclusive. Right. Because it hasn't been for some time.
No. And let me tell you something, Charles. We don't need another white guy as a face. We need people. And Ohtani is a person.
All right. So I'm glad that you said that.
I had to. Come on.
Because here's the other thing that Stephen A. said. In his opinion, he felt like the face of baseball needed to be somebody like a Mike Trout. Okay. But here's the thing, Doc, you're a baseball fan.
Yeah.
Mike, hold on. Mike Trout had his opportunity, and Mike Trout is not as talented as Ohtani.
No. And you know something? He didn't want to be the face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He didn't want to be the face. How about Albert Pujols as the face?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on.
And I mean, yeah. And I think what's interesting about Albert Pujols, you know, obviously me.
I know he's a Cardinal.
Day, you know, I couldn't fathom why Albert Pujols was not more of a centerpiece for Major League Baseball. Okay. And so here's what I think about Stephen A. And this is going to make some folks mad. I'm going to say
it. Say it, Charles. Mm-hmm.
Stephen A. spoke like a white guy.
Right.
Okay.
And an old white guy.
Spoke like an old white guy.
Let's call it out. Yeah.
And a lot of non-white people are just like astonished because they're like, well, wait.
Not
did he just say what we thought we weren't supposed to say anymore? Like I thought we moved. Wait, Stephen A., did you really just say that? And so and so I feel like he tried to speak as a white man. Okay. And I don't think it was necessary for him to do that. At the same time that I feel like he was parroting old white men's thoughts. Okay. I do feel like this, Doc. All right. I do feel like this. Otani can opt to use an interpreter, and that's fine. All right. But when I'm thinking about the agents and the representation and reaching out to people and whatnot, okay, they simply have to decide how they want to push Otani forward. Okay.
Right.
And what I mean by that is when Stephen A talked about marketability, people got mad. They're like, what? He's not good for marketability. Okay. No, he'll be fine for marketability. Hold on a minute.
Right.
Do you all realize what type of racialized climate we're living in?
Right.
Okay. So no, he can keep his interpreter, but Major League Baseball and his agent and the advertisers or the sponsors or whoever it is, they need to figure out how to capitalize this opportunity for Otani, Major League Baseball, for the fans. They can do that, and he can keep his interpreter.
Charles, let Nike do it. No one's better at doing that.
Right. Thank you.
Nobody.
Yeah. There you
Look
go.
what they did with Tiger. That documentary,
okay.
When he came out in 2000, Nike kicked the ball right out of the stadium.
Yeah.
Charles, what's upsetting about what Stephen A did, it took us back 10 years, 20 years. Charles, the Angels, good for them that they went out and brought this guy in because they know the value. And he's a good-looking, smart guy.
Right.
I mean, we're not talking.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
When I heard those comments that Stephen A made, the short take of it, it reminded me of what people were saying right after 9/11 about Arabs in this country. And it reminded me of what people say often about Spanish-speaking people in this country, or should I say Hispanic people in this country, because they don't say it about white Spaniards. They say it about people from south of the border is who they say, you need to speak English, right? And so when he made that statement, it just sounded like what old white Republicans would say about the English language, and I feel like this, the world is so much bigger and more interconnected today that this type of language barrier isn't something that's truly that much of a barrier, as long as the people who are handling Otani and working with him do the right thing for everybody involved.
Charles, there's a thing called Google Translator. I'm not being facetious. I mean, we're talking, I used it in Costa Rica. It works. Charles, you just said there is no gap. Stephen A created a gap.
He created the gap. Yeah. Well, I would say he walked. I won't say he created the gap. I'll say Stephen A walked through the gap that was created by the old white man, and he reminded people that gap was there.
Correct.
Okay.
And almost to Charles, correct me, but why it needs to be there, which is so disturbing. It doesn't need to be there. It's outdated.
Right.
And Charles, it doesn't. No one wins. Nobody wins.
And I get his Stephen A's. He's been critical of Major League Baseball, and I understand why. I can remember a time when there were baseball fields all throughout African American communities in the United States. Okay, I can remember. Hey, I told you, Cardinals fan. I'm not a fly-by-night Cardinals fan. I go back, to like Ozzie, and
Ozzie
Vince
Smith,
Coleman,
right? Yeah,
Ozzie Smith and Vince Coleman. Okay, Terry Porter, not Terry Porter, Terry Pendleton. All these guys. Okay, so we saw a lot more black faces in Major League Baseball, and all of a sudden you don't see them anymore. And so Stephen A talks about that, right? And so what Stephen A was trying to do is he's trying to say, hey, it needs to be American. But well, wait, does it? Like, how can it not be American? It is American. It's not going to change because an Asian guy is one of the best players.
Hey, Charles,
the NBA had Dirk Nowitzki. The NBA didn't stop being the NBA because Dirk was playing.
And Charles, Australia's got Ben Simmons. Has basketball become less American?
Right. You know, so and then if the thing is, again, you know, if somebody out there wants to say, well, but it's about the language barrier,
No, it's not.
it's about the language barrier. It's like,
no, it's about the mental barrier. It's about the emotional barrier, psychological barrier. Listen, Otani lives down in Orange County, large Asian community. It's not random he picked the Angels.
Right. Yeah.
He's no fool.
I hear you.
He didn't go someplace where there's no love.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I'm with you on that. So yeah, man, I just, you know, I wanted to mention that to you because I know you're a baseball fan.
I am a baseball
fan.
And
guys, you know, one of the things that we challenge, we're open to everybody's opinions, but one of the things that we want to challenge you to do is make this world a better place, not just for you, but for your children and grandchildren. Okay. Because remember, these children are not going to have the same minds that we have. And
we can't.
That's where and that's where his statements kind of start to turn into a screwball a little bit. Is, well, wait, Doc, wait, wait a minute, Stephen A. Like that was a thought before. But is that where people are today? And clearly you can hear a lot of people say, yeah, that's not where we are now.
No, and Charles,
that's not what we're doing now.
Okay, I'm going to go out of bounds and pull me if I'm too far out. There's that whole thing with Rachel Nichols and the other African-American woman at ESPN.
Right.
On salary. And Stephen A is the highest paid person at ESPN. And there is a responsibility when you're the face of the corporation.
Yeah.
So I want to say.
Yeah, I know.
That's why it was so upsetting. This is not some rookie announcer. He's the face.
Right. Yep.
Or one of the faces. It's not Dan Patrick.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's just he can't. He's got to be more responsible with his delivery. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. So, guys, listen. We just wanted to give you all those tidbits. Listen again. Subscribe to tbgmen.com. Okay?
Get on board with us.
Leave a comment. Email us, about the show. We want to hear your thoughts, your feedback, your comments. It's open. You're not hurting our feelings, okay? That's not what this is about. We love to engage with everybody and hear what it is that you all have to say about this. So, again, guys, I want to remind you all, go to tbgmen.com and subscribe. I can't say that enough. It's very important that we get you guys on the website there. Okay. You won't see everything on social. You won't see everything on social media. When we put our surveys and all that kind of stuff up, you won't see them. When we put our journals up, you won't see things like that on social media. Okay. So it's really important that you do that. And if you're enjoying the show, share it with someone. Share it with the guys that you know. Okay. If you don't share it with people, it stops getting out there. Okay. It's almost like silence. And we don't need silence right now. No. Okay. We need men to really, really assert themselves.
Speak up.
Okay. Speak up. So, Doc, I thank you for spending some time with me today. I'm glad, again, as I said, you had a great time in Costa Rica, despite the food poisoning. Despite the food poisoning. Okay.
Thank you, Charles.
And, I just hope that, we can continue to give listeners some food for thought. Right.
Some value.
Some value. So, guys, until next time, you all be well. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Charles.